Stitch Steel Song, that just kind of sounds good. And today that is what I have for you. Hello there, Lorcana lovelies. Today I'm playing the new version of Steel Song that is out there. Everyone's been talking about Angel since she was released, with the fact that she felt like a replacement Cindy, especially encouraging you to go second if you get to choose. And I'll tell you that it feels really good going second and playing that Angel. I am playing against Josh today, who's playing his favorite deck, which is Monstro Combo. Let's go into the lists really quick, and then we will see who wins my Steel Song, Stitch Steel Song, or Josh's Monstro Combo. So here is the current version of the Steel Song list that I am playing. This is one that won the PPG event this past weekend. It is a great list. It is very fun, and I really missed it. I really missed the tempo removal package, and I really missed kind of like the little bit of aggro that was in it to be able to just kind of like run forward and be able to cross the finish line. But what I really, really missed was Ariel. And the fact that I never got any songs off her. And now we have a replacement, which is Nani, because a lot of the times I don't get characters off of her either. So it just feels like Steel Song is completely back. So taking a quick look at this list, what we have is we have some early kind of aggressive characters. Now you notice there's only one drop, which is the Rhino, with the hopes being if you go first, you want that one drop Rhino and the 2 shift Rhino to be able to really have that and have something really hard to deal with on turn 2. Plus it gives you your Singer. If you're on the draw, you want to be able to have that Angel, because Angel gives you a singing platform, and it means you can do some really awesome stuff, like play Angel turn 1, turn 2, sing Angel's song, which means your next character costs 2 less. And if you have 2 ink out, you can play a Grandmother Willow, and that's free off of the Angel song, which means Grandmother Willow discounts you again. You can play something like a Nani, which means on turn 2, you should have a Angel, a Grandmother Willow, a Nani out, and have drawn a card from that Nani and drawn a card from the Angel song. It's an amazing feeling, and it happened more than once to me, and it just felt really good. It felt like it was like really well synergized together. And then you kind of have plays like having a bunch of characters out and having the surfer snowboarder Stitch out and draw cards from them. And he's like a 4/5. He is hard to deal with because he's so big and tough. The last kind of piece that I really want to talk about here is the removal package. So we have the removal package in the Steel Songs with Strength of Raging Fire, and He Hurled His Thunderbolt. They both feel really good, and having the abundance of singers, especially singers that either can shift in the case of the Rhino, or that you can just play out early like the Troubadour to be able to sing all these songs, feels real good and real consistent. The other thing that we have here is a removal package that can fight. So if we have a character like Pluto, Pluto is vital against like the aggro list, like the dogs list, to be able to play a steel character and get rid of those pesky chromacons that are out there. But Pluto also gains you 2 lore every time one of your other steel characters, so not Pluto, challenges another character and takes them out, which means all of a sudden your Rhinos, all of a sudden your Docs, if they can do that one last point of damage, can be gaining you lore. Goliath is great too. There's one point in time where I played Goliath really early on Josh, hoping to make him discard all of his cards, and it felt really good to be able to kind of have something to either force your opponent to discard if they're playing a late game deck, a control deck, or a combo deck, or to be able to draw cards yourself. Now, I will say Goliath is good in this match. Do not play Goliath against dogs or anything aggressive, because they're going to empty their hand, and you're just going to be rewarding them by giving them extra cards by the time you play Goliath. So this is the Steel Song. We're heading into Monstro. So Josh has played Monstro for a long time now, and at this point in time, plus or minus a couple cards that he wants to play around with, his list is pretty near figured out. He's using the Great Illuminari to be able to draw cards as his combo right now, and he says that just feels really good. The fact that you're not relying on a Donald Duck, and you're not relying on being able to put out like a huge amount of like costly characters, feels a lot more consistent to him. Now, with this deck, the key parts in this are obviously the Monstro, because that is how you're going to draw through your deck. The Great Illuminari, because again, that's how you're going to draw through the deck. But the combo here is Alan-a-Dale, which draws you which gains you a lore every time that you play a song. And then the We Know the Ways. So you draw through your deck with the Monstro and the Great Illuminari. You get down to your very last card, you draw that, and you make sure that you're stuck with one We Know the Way in your hand. You play a We Know the Way. If you don't have an Alan-a-Dale out, you target Alanadale in your discard pile, he shuffles back into your non-existent deck, which means he's a guaranteed hit off the top, which means you play him for free. And then you do the same thing, chaining 2 We Know the Ways. So you need to make sure you have enough We Know the Ways and enough Alanadales to be able to make it work. And you need to make sure you don't ink them. That's always kind of the problem that Josh seems to find, which is why he plays 2 Alanadales. You'll notice some lists out there only play 1, or they only play 2 We Know the Ways as opposed to 3 that Josh is playing. We really want to make sure that we're guaranteed to be able to have our combo in our deck, and being really short on our combo pieces, especially since they're inkable, means that sometimes he might get into the position where he has to ink away his combo, and that never feels good. So you want to play backups. So let's go into the gameplay and see how the game worked out between Stitch Steel Song and Monstro combo. All right, we have game 1 here. So with game 1, Josh is on the play there. He's already did his inking. I'm just a little bit slow on the on my mulligan here, so I ink and play as well. I play an angel. I really like this angel as far as like the new Steel Song list goes. Josh is going to play in Elanwi and kind of pass there. So Josh is playing the Monstro combo. He wants to be able to hopefully ignore me for as long as possible, but the fact that the Steel Song has a good amount of removal and a good amount of aggression does mean that he does have to kind of take that into consideration. So the cool thing that I do here is I sing Angel Song with Angel, which means my next character costs 2 less, which means I can just hard cast the Rhino there because I have the 2 ink there, the 2 ink discount from the Angel Song, which means that on turn 2, I have played a Rhino as opposed to shifting him. Looking at kind of my options there, Josh gets rid of the angel. I do agree with that. And my next thing that I do is I just play a Grandmother Willow. I have nothing really that I can play in my hand with a discount from the Grandmother Willow. And then Josh is going to go and establish a little bit more of a board. He plays a Grandmother Willow as well, and he plays a Dumbo. Hope here is that he's going to start to be able to draw a whole bunch of cards. For my turn, I am playing the Snowboarder Stitch. Really like the Snowboarder Stitch, and I can play that with 4 ink out because the Grandmother Willow gives you that discount for the first character that you play. I am questing for 2 with Rhino. My rationale here being Josh can't really do a huge amount about it with that resist 2. If he draws a bunch of cards, he can punch it with the Royal Guard, but he does need to draw a lot to get through that resist 2. For Josh here, he wants to be able to draw some cards. I don't have evasive, so he is safe here to quest with his, or I guess use making history or breaking records with Dumbo. And then he plays an Elsa, and he may as well use that rush to get rid of something that is bugging him. And what's bugging him, or was bugging him, was that Grandmother Willow. I am going to quest with my characters here, play an angel to be able to do 2 damage to something by discarding a card with her snowball ability. Now, realistically, looking at this, I quest it with the Stitch second. I should have quested with the Stitch first so that I drew my card and I got to know all of my options. Of course, I do need the 2 characters out, so that angel did need to be played first. But before I used the angel's snowball ability, I could have quested with Stitch. That way I knew everything that I had there. Because I guess ideally you'd want to discard Lilo, which I see I have in my hand here there. Josh does want to get rid of my Rhino because that resist 2 means that there's only so many characters that can deal with him. So he plays the Sven with the rush and he gets rid of the Rhino. I am going to be questing again. I should have quested with the Stitch first. I actually, you know what? I guess I did have to play the Nani first. Quest with the Stitch, and then I do exactly kind of what I should do here, which is I make sure I do all my card draw before I discard a card to Angel to do 2 damage to something. Now, I do want to stop Josh's discounts in the same way that he wants to stop mine, so I get rid of the Grandmother Willow as well. Josh plays a Genie. Again, safe evasives here to be doing the breaking records, making history abilities with Dumbo, drawing some cards and gaining some lore at the same time. He is going to be playing another Royal Guard, so he's at the point right now, especially with those evasives, that he should be able to draw a good amount of cards, which means that he should be able to contest most of the characters that I end up playing. I play a Goliath, and then I'm going to discard a Dock to the Angel's ability. So Goliath is going to let me draw 2 cards at the end of my turn, and it's going to make sure Josh has to discard to 2 cards as well. Now, I didn't think that Josh could play out his hand. Very smugly, I was kind of laughing and say, oh, you're going to have to discard things, and I was teasing him about it. And then he goes and he does this, and he pretty much, I'm pretty sure he gets through his entire hand in this turn, which was impressive. He plays a Monstro, which is the first part to his combo. He does need to keep the Monstro in play, and he does need to be able to have the Illuminari out or Donald. I'm not sure if this list plays Donald, but he's going to use the monster to swing into everything, and then he sings together the Circle of Life to bring back Monstro. No damage whatsoever, so he was able to clear my field very nicely, and then he was able to get down to the cards to be able to benefit off of Goliath there. I'm going to play out my hand here, the Lilos from the discard pile, the Lilo in my hand, and a Grandmother Willow, discarding the second angel in my hand to do 2 damage to something. I pick the Dumbo because I do want to get rid of his card draw, and it's just 1 more damage than I need to be able to do. And he has not shown that he's got a way to move damage around right now, so I'm hoping to be able to clean up that Dumbo next turn. I don't want him to be able to have a whole bunch of card draw, because the card draw is how he's going to dig for his other piece of the combo. Now, I don't know that he doesn't have it, but the fact that he played a Grandmother Willow as opposed to a Great Illuminari means that he doesn't have the combo right now, and what he needs to do is get through, is to stop me from winning. So that Demona is definitely going to help there, and he needs to draw cards. So I have to exert my field, which means that he gets to choose his fights, and then he's going to kind of start to do that here. So uses his evasives to pick off the smaller stuff so that there's less damage on them, to keep them around and nice and safe. And then he's going to be using Monstro's full breach ability to just kind of tear through the rest of my characters. The fact that he played Demona meant that I went up to 3 cards, so Goliath is going to stay exerted there, which means I don't even have Goliath to be able to either gain 2 lore with or to be able to swing into one of his characters. Not like I could do anything with it, because all of his characters that are sideways have evasive. Back to my turn here. I have enough ink that I can play out, I assume, the vast majority of my hand, so I play the little Rhino, and I play a Pluto, hoping that that Goliath is going to survive an extra turn so that I can start to clean up his characters with it and gain lore from it. I have the Shift Rhino in my hand. In my mind, I'm thinking if I do get up to just enough lore, I can hopefully surprise him by being able to gain that 1 extra lore with the Shift Rhino. But Josh dug far enough to be able to get the Great Illuminari, which means that he's just doing, right now, a full breach on kind of fast forward here by just discarding the card from the top of his deck, assuming that he's going to discard it to full breach with Monstro, and just draw through his entire deck, picking the 2 cards or the 2 or 3 cards that he needs to have in his hand to make the combo work effectively. So he needs to have 2 We Know the Ways, and he needs to have an Alanadale in play. So he has the Alanadale already in play, and essentially what he's doing now is he chains We Know the Ways, gaining lore from the Alanadale until he wins game. So Josh wins game 1. Off to game 2 here. So game 2, I get to be on the play. Now, I have the angel in my hand, which means that I'm kind of kicking myself thinking I kind of wish I was on the draw because I want to be able to play angel. But it still is better to be able to be the one who's setting up first. So I draw my 1-drop on turn 2. A little bit late for that Rhino, so I'm going to play Grandmother Willow, and I'm going to play a Rhino for free. Idea here is that I think I see the Shift Rhino in my hand, so I'm hoping to be able to shift it next turn and be able to get some extra benefit off of that. Josh convinces me to get rid of that Rhino, though, and put it into my Inkwell instead, because the aerial is more important. And after the words, I totally agree. The aerials is how I'm going to be able to draw more cards in this match. So playing the aerial is good because I can just hard cast the shifted Rhino here, or the shift of the bigger Rhino, and there's nothing I need to be able to take out with this Rhino, so it's not like you need it to be shifted for this turn so I can swing into something. Josh plays a Genie, a Lantern. He's got a Royal Guard out, so he's developing a board state here for the Monstro list. I do play the Ariel with the discount, and because of the discount, it means that I have that 1 extra ink to be able to boost her. Since I sing in the Angel's song, I get to draw a card with Angel, play an Angel for free because of that discount, and I get to draw a card with Ariel because she's boosted. I really like this Ariel. I think that this Ariel is awesome, and clearly she is good because Josh decides to take her out as opposed to the Grandmother Willow for the discounts or the Angel for the singer. I'm going to play a Snowboarder Stitch here. This is my second form of card draw. It's really important, especially with a slightly more aggressive style list like this version of Steel Song, to be able to have card draw so that you have options in your hand. Steel Song is well known for its steel removal songs, hence the name Steel Song. That I was able to play 2 in 1 turn is always real nice. He hurled his Thunderbolt is nice. I mean, that 4 damage does get things like genies, but I really miss the Along Came Zeus. The 5 damage is a good kind of breaking number. Strength of Raging Fire is good as well if you can keep enough characters on your board to be able to really make it worthwhile. And you know, sometimes I'm able to keep 7 or 8 or 9 characters out, so Strength of Raging Fire is able to take out anything. I quest with the Stitch, drawing a card, and then I'm going to get to play that dock. Get rid of a Goliath, a little bit less useful here, especially with a dock in my hand. And then I draw my 2 cards. Josh is empty boarded, so I quest. It's nice and safe to do so. Josh plays a Genie, drawing a card again, so being able to dig through his deck to be able to get as many cards as possible is good. I sing Angel's Song with Angel, and then I'm able to play out a whole bunch of cards. So this version is, like, this deck is amazing with the fact that it can draw so many cards and play out so many characters. It does feel really good. Then you can go nice and wide, like I did here, and the Strength of Raging Fire can be very effective, being able to get this many characters out and being able to have that Angel as the singer. I've got nice control over the board here, but the nice thing with Josh is since he's playing combo, he just needs to be able to keep his one big monster out and get a great Illuminari, and he can win the game. The kind of caveat here being he needs to have a very specific number of cards in his hand in order to guarantee that he has enough cards to go through the combo. I am going to go wide, replacing that Grandmother Willie that he just took out and playing a second Snowboarder Stitch, which again will be nice card draw. I'm going to quest up to 13 here, which is great. Nice feeling, being able to really kind of control that board, go really nice and wide. So Josh can take out things with the Monster, but the problem is that my Stitch is big and my Rhino's big. He's going to really only be able to like, he'll lose his Monstro to it. So the math he's doing right now is he's wondering what does he need to take out in order to just buy himself one extra turn, and what are the chances that he is going to be able to draw a great Illuminari. So he does have it in his hand right there, but I think the math on this is that he needed to be able to have the Circle of Life as well in order to be able to swing in to everything with Monstro and the Circle of Life Monstro back. I think we did the math on this afterwards, and he ended up being 1 card shy to being able to combo off. He does have to take out some of my stuff here. I mean, 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I have 10 lore on board, 8 now with the Stitch gone. So he does need to get rid of at least what he did there. This will put me up to 19, and it'll mean that he's got the 1 extra turn to win the game. 16, 17, 18, 19, yeah, so 19, and Josh will, so Josh is kind of, like you said, 1 or 2 cards shy there. He only has 1 card in hand because he had to discard the cards with Monstro, and he did end up deciding to get rid of the Luminari, it looks like there. I'm going to quest with my Stitch, draw cards. I'm going to quest, or I'm going to sing with Angel to ensure that I can get rid of that Monstro, because he does really need that Monstro in order to be able to combo off, so I get rid of that there. I'm going to quest with the rest of my characters, putting me up to 18, which means, again, Josh needs to really kind of sweep my board in order to be able to guarantee that that he can win the game. But he was 1 card shy. We determined that kind of afterwards. We go on to game 3. So for some reason, we're playing real fast here, so I'm going to try to keep up. So I am going second, which means I lead with an Angel. Now, I don't have Angel Song in my hand, so I'm going to go wide, with the idea being that that Strength of Raging Fire that I have is going to be a lot more effective against something like this here, which is the Genie. So I play a Grandmother Willie, getting me a second set of discounts. I am going to Strength the Genie, and then I'm going to play out more cards to be able to go as wide as possible. Josh plays a Tigger. He's going to bounce a character of mine there, and it does give him a really good fighter that he has. Back on my turn, I am going to sing Angel's Song, which gets me an aerial for 1 pretty much, with the discount from the Grandmother Willow. And then I'm pretty sure I think I'm going to want a booster. So I drew that off the Angel Song. It's great to have her out first, because having her out first means I do get to draw the card. I do want to boost her. However, Josh is going to play a Hades and target her. I think that's a good idea. I do put her at the bottom of my deck. The reason being, I know Josh needs a specific number of cards to be able to make the monster combo work, and I want to deny him those cards. And I know that I can go wide, and I have a dock in my hand, so I do have card draw to kind of back me up here. I'm going to quest out, going up to 9, and then going back to Josh's turn here, he's forced to kind of look and contend with a massive board. I have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 lore on the board, which will put me up to 17. which is a lot, which means that he does need to start kind of swinging in and taking out my characters. Rhino is the biggest problem because of that resist 2, so the Sven goes into the Rhino, and then he gets rid of the Lilo. I get to play Anani to get a small character, which I think there's only one option there. Get a Rhino, play a Rhino, and again, the idea is to just go as wide as possible. Make Josh have to deal with like my massive amount of characters. I'm going to quest here now, since I can't go all the way up to like 18. I'm going to quest selectively with just the Troubadour and the Doc. So Josh should have challenging to take out some of my characters here. He had the cards to be able to do it, to be able to stop me from winning, because he did know that I potentially could have drawn the Shift Rhino, and that would have meant the game. We were a little bit distracted because somebody was knocking on the door and needing our attention before work. So I guess it is still up in the air then if I would have won or if Josh would have been able to combo off next turn, and I guess we will never know. So technically I got it, but if you notice there, I cut the camera right when Josh played the Great Illuminari, so, you know, could have been anyone's game. So if we weren't distracted at the end there by somebody kind of needing our attention before work, Josh would have been able to sit down and count my lore and realize that he needed to swing into one more character, because if I had the Shift Rhino, it was going to end the game, and I top deck the Shift Rhino, and I'm not used to that type of luck. It's normally Josh that has that luck, and it feels good. I'd like to keep that luck here. Either way, you can see how strong both decks are. Having a combo deck means that your opponent can be at that 18-19 lore, and you can be at 0, and you can still win the game. You just need to have your combo pieces there, and you need to be able to keep a level head and not get stressed out with your opponent getting so far ahead. Combo is definitely for players who are very familiar with their deck. They also kind of have to be a little bit familiar with what their opponent's doing, because you need to stop your opponent from winning so that you can kind of do your combo. As far as Steel Song goes, it feels fantastic. I really miss this deck. Steel Song is like my favorite deck, and it makes me really, really excited again. Don't get me wrong, I love my dogs, and I was really liking the my Hey Hey combo list, and I still will play those too, but like Steel Song is what I really fell in love with at the beginning of Lorcana, and I'm really glad that there's a version of it back right now. I would love to see more Steel Songs out there, that way I can get rid of more characters, but this deck does feel very kind of well synergized and well designed. I'm hoping to be able to play around with some things, change some things out, to be able to play with numbers of things, but like the deck does feel really good. I personally want to put the little like steel resisty Lilos in, or like they don't take damage Lilos, because that just feels like a nice aggressive piece. But a part of me is wondering, is that me wanting to play an aggressive deck, or is that me thinking that this actually could be in this deck? Because this isn't aggro. It's got an aggressive strategy to it, but it is very much a tempo removal list. So that is what I've got for you today. I am going to go and make sure that all of my pretty cards are in this version of the list, because this is really, I find it really exciting to see that this list is back. I have Princesses. I'm going to be playing that, or I was excited to play that, but now that I have a Stitch Steel Song, I mean, I don't think there's anything else you could ask for.